This officer has no idea he's about to walk right into his worst nightmare.
Sir, come here for a second, please.
For what?
Because I asked you to.
No.
Okay.
For what? What I do?
Because I told you to.
What I do?
Well, you passed a counterfeit dollar bill back.
Well,
Dispatcher, I'm flying one behind. Put your hands behind your back. 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 Do it now. Put your hands behind your back. Get on your stomach. Shots fired. Shots fired. Dispatch, I've been shot.
I'll be back as soon as I can, okay?
Give me a medic.
I've been shot. I need a medic.
You're good. I'm behind. I've been shot. I've been fired. I returned fire. I need medics and I need crews, please.
Give me a medic.
We need a medic.
Everybody stay inside. Stay inside.
All prisoners responded. He's been shot.
Clear the air. Keep talking to me. Keep talking to me.
Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. I'm behind. Please hurry.
Just keep talking to me. We're on our way.
I've been shot on the left side of my head. I can barely hear my earpiece.
Okay, we're on our way. Just keep talking. We're on our way. Just keep talking.
Everybody stay inside for me, please, all right? I need you to stay right there, okay?
I'm not going nowhere.
I know you're not, and I appreciate it, okay? You're... He's got a gun under his... He still has a gun under him.
okay, I got it. You okay?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go get him, okay?
No, just wait for more crews.
Okay.
Try to load him in your car and go. Take him to the valley.
Nope, I'm waiting for more crews to get here.
He's still breathing.
I know he is. We got medics coming.
I got him. Okay, you're okay. Go with him.
Come on, let's go. That's my taser.
Okay, come on. We do not have him. We're going to the valley. I have him in my car. We're going to the valley. You okay? You okay, brother? You okay? You okay?
Just get around to the off the truck.
I'll take it down until the end. Okay. Be shot. You okay, buddy? You gonna be all right.
Here, I'm behind you. I'm following you.
So everybody be shot here and then the maybe. Alright.
Try not to choke him with it.
Yep. That's the gun right there.
Get some Easters to start blocking the ramp.
is when you enter the ramp block on 35. They're clear.
Yeah, it's gonna hit the neck here. One here, one here.
We're getting off Perry Ludlow now.
Have any other dogs or anything?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna go get something real quick.
You get a gun off him?
Yeah, I got it in my pocket. I didn't touch it with my hands or anything.
You cleared it. Okay.
No, I haven't.
Alright, what pocket is it in?
My left pocket.
Right here?
Yep.
Alright, switch legs real quick.
Alright, come on. Come on.
Hang in there, buddy.
You got
Hey, just lay down. Just lay down. Come on, Holly. There you go. Yeah, stay with us. Stay with us. Come on.
Can we get his belt off from somebody?
Yeah, I got it. Let him get through the door. We'll get it.
Don't worry about your belt, honey. We got it, okay?
We got you.
My back, please. I can't take my arm. Okay. My left arm hurt. Please send me my back, please.
Yeah.
Please send me my back, please. My left arm hurt.
You're okay. Okay. You're okay. You're okay, bud. Yeah, I see. Looks like an entry and exit room in this neck.
He's got one on this right shoulder and it looks like one on the other.
Alright, hey guys, can we get some seam tape? Yeah. I want all this taped off. Every bit of it.
Hey, stay right here. Just stay here.
Relax, dude. Relax,
Okay.
dude. Relax.
Just stay right here.
Make sure we can get the medic in here. Don't block the roads.
Who is it? Yeah. Who? You good?
We got it.
You alright?
We got it, okay? Come on. Take care of him, okay?
That's alright.
What's his name?
No idea.
He hasn't given us anything.
We got
Two gunshot wounds.
He's alert and conscious.
Yeah.
He's alert and conscious. He's talking, gets shot in the head. He's talking.
What?
He gets shot in the head. He's talking. He's alert and conscious.
Where you at?
Can I do the help?
Can you knock on some of these doors to get their name and where they live and if they saw anything?
Alright. Did you see or hear anything?
I didn't hear nothing but the sirens when the sirens started.
You didn't hear any shots?
I didn't hear none of that. My kids were saying they heard. I'm like, I didn't hear that. I mean, I was in the midst of cleaning up, so I didn't hear none of that.
I know the guy.
fire. Do you know if you hit him?
The guy's on the ground. He wasn't moving. He's on the ground. He's down. The guy's down. I don't know if he's on. I don't know if he's on traffic stop. I don't know what he's doing.
It looks like an alarm complaint. Did you know him?
That's my neighbor, so I called the mother. I ain't seen nothing or heard nothing. She should be on her way.
After the suspect is transported to the hospital in critical condition, his cousin shows up to the scene.
What's going on, man?
I just got a call. My cousin was shot from his sister.
Okay, well, you can't come in here. It's a crime scene. Can you go park over there for me?
Did he make it?
As far as I know, they're working on him. Okay.
Last I heard, he was okay. Go and park over there for me, okay?
Okay. Hey.
Hey, I'm the aunt. My sister just called and said my nephew just got shot.
Okay, well, this is crime scene. You can't just go through.
Is he okay?
He's being worked on as far as I know. You can't just drive through.
Where can I park? Where can I park?
On the street right there is
Right
fine.
here.
You can wait with him.
But I can't come
You
up
can't
here.
come through right now. So that's your mom?
One person we're going to have to be worried about. His sister. She's dramatic. Over dramatic. If I see her coming, I'm going to call for you.
Okay.
My mother's a drama queen. But at the end of the day, you know what they're going to say? We need you to pay for it. Again. You ever heard the expression, he who wears the crown heavy is head? Head is heavy?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's heavy today. Tomorrow will be what? He had mental illness too.
How old was he?
Can't be no more than 37.
If they won't let me nowhere near your house, they won't let me nowhere near your house.
Yeah.
Mama.
I don't know if the ambulance took him or what. What they say, Nate? Jean on their way. The ambulance took him to the hospital?
Jen is the only one that can go in, and they have no information.
That was his mother. She's on her way.
Okay. If and when she gets here, I don't want her to try and just drive through here. I gotta talk to people before anybody's
You see me
allowed to. I
You
know.
told me to park over here. I didn't know. I was trying to go to her house. Did the ambulance take him to the hospital? What hospital should we go? Be going to?
At the moment, I don't know. They were working on it the last I know.
She just lost a damn child.
The suspect, 40-year-old Antwain Lowe, survived his multiple gunshot wounds after being transported to the hospital in critical condition. The officer shot in the head 34-year-old Thaddeus Holloway.
See, we just got it because she got this thing when she come in and she be like, I'm home, and take her phone and just throw that motherfucker anywhere. What do you need it for? You know what I'm saying? It's only that you just bought it after the other one got treated the same way. We just literally had to buy another phone because of that. The other one, you need it for work too. You needed it for riding it like a four-wheeler.
Also survived after suffering a gunshot wound that struck his temple, traveled underneath his skin, barely missing his skull, and exited through the back of his head, tearing a left temporal artery, a major artery supplying blood to the scalp, which caused profuse blood loss. Both Holloway and Antwain survived due to the quick response of the police officers, effective communication by dispatch, and medical treatment by the fire department and medical personnel at the hospital. Holloway initiated the stop on Antwain in the first place due to an investigation involving counterfeit money being used at a nearby Dollar General. After the quick struggle, Officer Holloway was incredibly alert enough to be able to return fire, radio dispatch for assistance, direct nearby civilians to safety, and stay on scene long enough for multiple officers to arrive to secure the area and provide medical aid to the suspect. Officer Holloway's actions that day have since earned him multiple awards, including the Top Cops Award and Citizens' Choice Award presented by the National Association of Police Organizations, the Officer of the Year Award from the Montgomery County Association of Police Chiefs, and the Axon Police Officer of the Year Award from the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Following the incident, which occurred in September of 2021, a $1 million bond was set for Antwain, and he was indicted on the charges of assault on a peace officer, felony assault on a peace officer with a deadly weapon, felony assault on a police officer causing serious bodily harm, felony carrying concealed weapons, felony having weapons while under a disability, and felony possession of cocaine. 2 months later in November 2021, Antwain pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Then, 7 months later in June of 2022, a judge deemed him competent to stand trial. Antwain then entered a plea of guilty to all 6 of his charges, and he was subsequently sentenced to 31 years to 36.5 years in prison, which is the maximum sentence he could have received. Later in 2024, he attempted to appeal from his convictions, contending that his counsel provided ineffective assistance. However, his contention was overruled due to lack of merit. Officer Thaddeus Holloway has unfortunately since had to medically retire due to his injuries he sustained from the incident, which included traumatic brain injury, memory issues, intense headaches, having trouble finding words, ringing in his ear, and hearing and vision loss. He joined the National Guard in high school and was deployed 3 times before serving as a Dayton police officer for 9 years. Local reporting details his reflection of the incident.
The bullet hit right here on my temple and traveled underneath the skin and then came out here. The news was told that I was grazed, and I will forever hate that word now because I was not grazed. You know, I'm just hard-headed and the bullet basically bounced off my head. I was in my head thinking I'm gonna die. It makes me feel guilty that I survived and some of them didn't. And it just makes me realize that, you know, how dangerous being a police officer is. My goal is just to be able to take care of my family, whatever that entails. Whether it's going back out to the streets or going a different avenue, I just want to make sure that I'm still here, still able to take care of my family for, you know, a long time.
Yeah. Oh, what he got? Yeah. Yeah, I was finna say shit. Yeah, he he deserves every award he got, man. Shoot, you don't just, you know what I'm saying, get that shit up out the mud like that. Golly. My boy not bullshitting.
The following events occurred on August 8, 2023 in Orlando, Florida, and have previously never been released to the public. The incident started when officers were called to the scene of a suspected hand-to-hand drug transaction in the parking lot near the police station.
Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. Place your hands behind your back real quick. Just be in the tank. You got any weapons or anything on you?
Partner, come here.
I have seen this. I have reacted to this. You can find this on my actual channel. Like, look at them no cop video. That person is, got some good old goddamn. It's probably just the way he talk. Poetic Flacco. Poetic Flacco.
Lil Durk can't be this stupid. I refuse to believe Lil Durk is this stupid. Right? The respect I have for Lil Durk is dwindling as the day go by. Lil Durk was back in court today, man, and all we got was bad news from the court proceedings. We ain't getting out one good news. But I feel like the worst part about this court proceeding is them finally revealing what exactly the antagonist was in Lil Durk's life that made him go down his murderous spree, right? The antagonist that got Lil Durk currently in jail on Fed charges, facing the rest of his life in prison. You know who convinced Lil Durk to slap Avant? You won't believe it, people. You won't believe this, man.
All right, so I'm here outside the courthouse. I just saw Lil Durk's last hearing, and there was a lot of really big information that just came out. Now, I'm going to do a bunch of breakdowns of all the information, but I'm going to hit you with the craziest piece of information that came up first. I could not believe it. They brought up WAC 100 and 6ix9ine in Durk's hearing. Now, this is insane. So they were basically arguing over a certain exhibit and like whether or not it should be allowed to be used. And they pretty much said that there was a podcast clip of the 6ix9ine and WAC 100 interview that they basically wanted to use. The defense for Durk was fighting for it not to be included. And this is what's crazy. Now look, before I get attacked, before I get in any trouble, okay, I'm not saying WAC 100's a snitch or that he's cooperating or that he's part of this case. Same goes for 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine's not cooperating against Durk. He's not part of the case. But the interview between WAC 100 and 6ix9ine was brought up. The feds are planning to use it as evidence. Evidence of what, you might ask?
When I heard this, bruh, I was baffled. Like, I was literally stunned. Let's play the podcast clip they're referring to. So this is the clip where 6ix9ine is pressing WAC 100 on why WAC 100 considers Lil Durk a gangster and why hip-hop considers Lil Durk a gangster. And 6ix9ine is telling WAC that Lil Durk can't be considered a gangster because of this.
For me out, they know the exact same. I'm not bringing this off topic. Let me just get this on my chest. They know the exact, put 10 bullets in King Von and he died there by himself. Why nobody slid for that? I don't see you on Instagram saying, yo, go slide for that, man. Listen. Y'all know what y'all saying? Yo, y'all want this crash out. I'm gonna be real with you. No. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Go hit that kid at me. Hold on. Why this shooting? Let me be real with you. Let me be real with you. I don't see you on Instagram saying, yo, Durk, go slide for me. I discovered King Von. No. I don't want to talk about King Von. So why is Durk not sliding? I don't know no politics. And listen, why is Durk not sliding on? You know what they doing? Just because it ain't publicized on social media, how you know? How you know?
The feds are saying they got proof that Little Durk went on the murderous spree of Quando Rondo's cousin. That Little Durk packed up a bunch of ashy goons, put them on a private jet, paid for, like their planes, pay for their travel, pay for their guns, pay for their rental cars, and instructed them to murder Quando Rondo's cousin. And the reason why he did that was because 6ix9ine told him on a podcast to go slap Avant. You can't make this up, people.
They're saying there is evidence that this podcast where 6ix9ine was talking his shit against Dirk, talking about, yeah, slide for Vaughn. You said that dudes were going to slide. If I die, we're boosting the murder rate. Dudes are going to slide every day. All of that stuff. They're basically saying that this was evidence that this podcast blew up. It was one of the biggest aspects of the Slide for Vaughn campaign. The feds literally just said it themselves that 6ix9ine and Wack 100 on that podcast, that was like the all-star team of the Slide for Vaughn campaign. They're saying that people, they were basically saying that, you know, they said that a confidential witness had claimed that Dirk had seen the clip. Dirk's defense were arguing, no, they hadn't said that he'd specifically been sent the clip, but he acknowledged that, you know, the clip was going around. The clip was a very popular, you know, element in the Slide for Vaughn campaign that was going on. And they pretty much explained that, like, the confidential witness is going to testify that Dirk either saw the clip or was aware of it, and that basically there was a conversation basically saying that, like, this whole 6ix9ine Wack 100 conversation was, like, very, very negative to Dirk's mindset. It was a big part of why he wanted to go and Slide for Vaughn. When people,
I didn't need to hear that, bro. I wanted to keep the respect I have for Lil Durk. That is absurd. Lil Durk, do you understand how dumb and stupid you gotta be to fall for that trick? That's the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah.
That's the oldest trick in the book. Lil Durk had a $20 million record deal. He was coming home to his kids every night. He had India, a baddie, in his bed every night.
All of it.
And platinum records. And a #1 album. And he allowed 6ix9ine, who was cold as ice, who was falling off, who had completely ruined his face card in hip hop, who nobody wanted to hear from anymore. He allowed somebody who was down on their luck to trick him out of his position when he was at the highest of the highs in hip hop. You can't be this stupid. You can't. Dirk, I refuse to believe, because I still want to respect you, bro, that you crashed out because 6ix9ine said go slide for Vaughn.
And they took his glasses off the top. Man, come on.
And this ain't 6ix9ine before he. This is 6ix9ine after he ratted. So you already knew who you was dealing with. This is, oh my God. And to make things worse, 6ix9ine reacted to this news. He reacted to Lil Durk crashing out over him. And you know what 6ix9ine had to say? And this should be y'all wake-up call and y'all lesson. 6ix9ine tells Lil Durk, crashing out because a Mexican with rainbow hair. Grown man, by the way, left your family for Instagram comments. yo, you can't. Hey, listen, man. If this ain't your wake-up call, man, to lead the streets and the internet alone, bruh, this should be your wake-up call, man. All right? You gonna be the biggest B in the world if you don't crash out, and the minute you crash out, you the biggest dummy. So you gotta choose, man. Right? You either a B that's free and up millions, or you the biggest gangster who's behind bars for life. You choose. I'd rather be the biggest B that's free and enjoying my wealth if I'm Lil Durk. Okay? This is just, oh my, this is just disgusting, bro. This is just sad, man. And now that Lil Durk is in the predicament he's in, the news he got in court today, it was nothing but bad news. It was bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news. Bro, we learned, right, that Lil Durk's, one of his closest homies, is betraying him. Fam, this was the homie, by the way, who Lil Durk gave $50,000 to when he came home and recorded it. This was supposed to be one of the most solid ones in Lil Durk crew. Coming to find out, man, he's cooperating and taking a stand against Lil Durk to save his own behind. And he's not even indicted in this murder case. He just ain't want to go sit down for a couple of years. So he's telling on Lil Durk and risking Lil Durk doing life in prison because he don't want to go sit down for 4 to 5 years for some gun and, violent charges.
So I'm here at the federal courthouse after the Lil Durk hearing, and we just had some very, very interesting information about, possibly the most well-known alleged cooperator in this case, OTF Jam. Now, there was a crazy back and forth where they brought up a bunch of things about Jam. They said that the song Back Again was going to be used, and I'm not going to lie, I was happy to hear that because that's like one of my favorite songs. But obviously, you know, in that song, he talks about, you know, Jam got out that jam, I gave him 50,000, he ain't got to ask again. Well, they're basically saying that Jam is going to testify and cooperate and say that that 50,000 that Dirk gave him that he rapped about in Back Again, which bear in mind was made before King Von even died, but Jam is going to testify and say that he believes that he was given that money basically as like a, you know, as a show of loyalty to basically kind of get, you know, some kind of like future, as basically not like a prepayment, but basically like on the hopes that in future he might be able to do things for him, he might be able to slide for him.
I used to be somebody who, no matter who asked me for something, I'm there, I'm giving it to you. Yo, the minute I realize, the minute I realize in life, you gotta take care, and the only people you take care of are the people you know for a fact. If you down on your last and they last, they gonna bust down the last they have to make sure you straight. I got a short list of those people. My mama, my brother, and God willing, if I have a wife one day, it'll probably be my wife. Okay? My parents, my brother, and my future wife. Right? Because those are the people who I know for a fact. Listen, man, if I'm down to my last and I don't got nothing and rent is due, and my mama got her last 5,000, she's giving me that money to pay my rent. Straight up. Mama ain't let me. So mama gonna always be straight. But you sign multi-millions of dollars instead of, you know, staying out the way, like kicking it with your shorty, kicking it with your kids, and leaving them alone. You give somebody $50,000 because you thinking, man, bro, this is the right thing to do, man. My guy just got home from jail. I'm taking care of him. And that same guy who took that $50,000, bought toilet paper to wipe his butt with, probably paid for his kid's formula with that $50,000, bought a whip for his kid to go to school in. That same guy that took your $50,000 to take care of him and his family is now taking a stand and telling them folks that $50,000 was gang payment. That $50,000 that you gave that guy is about to be used to get you life in prison. Life ain't fair, bruh.
Yeah, true.
But you gotta know life ain't fair. This is ruthless, bruh. Dirk gave that man $50,000 on the wake up. 50 that could have went to his own family. And he took that 50 and he's about to take the stand and testify, oh yeah, Dirk gave him that 50 so he could commit murders on behalf of Lil Durk. This is crazy. Now, here's the thing, right? This dude would even testify. Now, this is like strange as well, because this would tell me that the FBI know that this dude is a murderer, and he probably got murders like under his belt they haven't solved yet. But he would testify that Lil Durk actually advised them to chill up on the murders because the feds is on them.
Now, what's crazy is that he's allegedly gonna testify that actually when they were filming a music video, at some point, okay, this is absolutely crazy. At some point, all right, Dirk and a bunch of the other members apparently confronted Jam in a bathroom. They took him into the bathroom, which is super weird, and they apparently confronted him, and they basically said, "You moving too hot, you're gonna get us jammed up. You got to be more careful about committing murders, and you're gonna get the feds on us." Now, apparently that wasn't talking about the Pab murder. Apparently there's other murders, and it sounds like he's actually going to admit to the feds that he was doing all kinds of murders that haven't even been prosecuted by the sounds of it, not even related to this murder, and that he was basically a top hitter in OTF and for the Black Disciples.
This testimony, by the way, is going to be more effective when they start the RICO case for Lil Durk after this case, right? So the judge ruled they had to sever the RICO case from this case. So Lil Durk might have some action on this case, but after this case, there's a RICO. This testimony and this statement is gonna be more servant during a RICO, right? When the feds give him a get out of jail free card, you can admit to all the murders right now and you won't be charged for it. But he about to say, hey, bro, Dirk had me killed this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. on behalf of OTF. Oh, by the way, listen, man, Big Zoo, Lil Durk, King Von. Oh, yeah, they shot that man on behalf of OTF. Oh, by the way, this dude robbed that guy. Oh, by the way, they killed Stephen Mack because Lil Durk paid him on behalf of OTF. Yo, the RICO that Lil Durk is facing after this, to me, that RICO to me, that one? Oh, no. That's going to be the case that I think Lil Durk can't escape. Lil Durk might escape this one. But that RICO after, no. And we're already seeing like some insight into exactly what the feds about to blitz Lil Durk with.
Yeah.
Now, apparently they got like a witness list of like 35 people that's taking a stand to testify against Lil Durk. And I can almost guarantee you out of that 35, at least 5 or 10 are going to be Lil Durk close homies, right? People he done fed before, right? Ungrateful savages, man.
So there were a couple of really interesting new things that came up in Durk's hearing today that I didn't get a chance to tell you about earlier. One of the biggest things that I'm seeing everybody talking about since we got the update was that there are officially 35 witnesses that the government are planning to bring forward towards Durk. The judge was shocked at this. When the prosecution said we got 35 witnesses, the judge went, 35? And they said, yeah. But they said, look, some of them we're going to get through quickly. They explained who some of the witnesses that they were calling were, and it was really interesting. And to be honest, some of the people that they're bringing, they got a lot of history. So apparently, one of the people that they want to bring is a detective in Chicago who has a lot of experience with gang cases, with the Black Disciples, Gangster Disciples. And apparently, this gang detective in Chicago has actually arrested Lil Durk in Chicago before. Now, they said that they weren't actually going to, or they weren't allowed to bring that up. That wasn't... The fact that he had arrested Durk back in the day wasn't something that they said that they wanted to bring up. That just was by the by. But this is a gang expert that they want to bring. In addition to that, they apparently said, look, we're going to get through some of them quickly. For example, they said that one of the people that they wanted to bring forward was some kind of detective, or not a detective, but basically they said that somebody was going to come along with accompanying evidence. And that evidence was going to be surveillance footage from the San Diego airport, where basically like the hitmen had been flown out from Chicago to San Diego rather than LA. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if they thought that would help them like evade detection, or it would help them not get caught if they landed in San Diego and drove up to LA to commit this murder. It doesn't really make sense. But like those are just like a couple of the witnesses that we found out that want to be brought forward. There were kind of witnesses on the other side that were discussed. You know, there's basically like the gang expert that arrested Durk back in the day. Drew Findling did an amazing masterclass in court where he basically said, well, we've got our own gang expert that I know that the state don't want to include. So basically, we'll withdraw our gang expert if you withdraw your detective. And to be honest, the judge was going for it a little bit. The judge was basically like, look, it's kind of an all or nothing deal. And what was so interesting is the judge basically said to Drew Findling, if you submit everything that you're going to ask these experts, I'll go over it. And then I'll let you know it's either all or nothing. It's either both or not. And I just explained it in a longer video on my channel, Trapmore Ross, that I'm about.
A lot of these trials recently got gang experts. Now, the reason why a gang expert, I guess, is important is because the gang expert is going to come. He's essentially going to like name or label like why Quando Rondo and Lil Durk got beef, like where this started issues. He's going to dive deep into Lil Durk, like text messages, see certain terminology, and then testify what those terminology mean. Testify like what this means in gang terms, right? Like, like how the hierarchy of a gang works, how Lil Durk can still be involved even though Lil Durk is not there. And the reason why,
I'm probably because that actually could probably use that even stuff beyond the Durk shit, right?
A gang expert more specifically is valuable, right, to the prosecutor during this specific trial is because apparently like the judge ruled, right, that a phone that was seized from Lil Durk in an unrelated incident can be used at trial, right? So they're gonna take a lot of messages, a lot of evidence, right? Like a bunch of things from this phone, and the gang expert is essentially gonna try to like corroborate whatever the Fed's agenda or narrative is for whatever they find in his phone.
Right, so I'm still outside the courthouse from the Lil Durk hearing, and there was another kind of not so great piece of news for Durk. I mean, really, this was actually very bad news. It was ruled that this evidence that was on his phone, remember we heard about he had a phone that was taken from him after he was this victim of a home invasion in 2021. He had fired shots into the air, and allegedly, the cops basically said that they had probable cause to seize his phone to investigate because things weren't really adding up. Even though he was the victim of an alleged home invasion, they said that he'd been reckless and fired the shots into the air. Now, they held on to that phone from 2021 the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, because it happened in Atlanta, they had kind of, tried to crack the phone. They had got like a very basic, cracking of the phone where it was in they described it as like a first unlock mode. So if you turn your phone off and you turn it back on, you're in a first unlock. It hasn't been unlocked yet, right? So if your phone is in that state, what it basically means is that they can't get everything. They can't get all the messages. They can get all your images, they can get the thumbnails, they can get screenshots, but they can't get the actual messages. So Dirk and his team were basically trying to argue that because the phone had been held onto for 5 years, the FBI filed a federal search warrant for the phone all the way in June 2026, that they shouldn't be allowed to use that evidence, and it was gathered improperly. This was an L for Dirk. The judge basically said, look, it seems like the cops acted in good faith. They had good reason to look at the phone, to seize the phone, to go through the phone back then because of the reckless shots that were fired into the air. It's not the FBI's fault. It's nothing to do with the FBI that the phone was held onto for so long. The FBI asked for that information in good faith, and the judge even said that if they continue trying to get hold of all of the other contents of the phone that weren't available yet, if they get them between now and the trial, which is in like a couple of weeks, he said, well, if the feds manage to get all of the information off those phones, then we're gonna have to revisit it then and decide whether I'm going to be allowing them to look at all that stuff. And it sounds like that is going to be able to be used against him. And the contents of the phone was pretty damning. It was, photographs, screenshots. Apparently there was a screenshot of a conversation where they were trying to get Lil Tim's address, and the government basically said, yeah, that we have the metadata to show that screenshot was 2 days after Lil Tim was released on house arrest. So they were tracking his movements. It sounded like the stalking was taking place.
I'm gonna say this one more time, right? Because we go back and forth between Lil Durk is cooked, Lil Durk is not cooked.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is this, man. All right, Lil Durk might have some action at beating this murder case, right? Because Lil Durk hasn't really talked about this murder case. They don't really got much evidence on Lil Durk in regards to this murder case. Lil Durk might have some action in regards to this murder case. But the RICO, they already got filed and waiting for Lil Durk after this. It's over with, bro. It's done.
I'm gonna say.
There's communication of y'all tracking King Von's killer, like Lil Tim, after he got out of jail and was on house arrest. You guys are sending messages back and forth. Quando Rondo tried to squash the beef. You told Quando, make peace with this switch. Oh, nah, man. When this RICO hit, it's gonna be bad. But Lil Durk might have some action at this murder case, man. I just can't believe that Lil Durk is this dumb to crash out over 6ix9ine. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think of this? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, then click on this video right here, somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here, or here, or here, somewhere on my screen, to find out why exactly. I personally can't believe that these idiots really filmed themselves doing this. Click on this. When I seen Chud the Builder's racist homie preaching at a black church earlier today, I thought I seen pigs fly. I didn't know that there was a black pastor, a black preacher. I didn't know there was a sellout bold enough to bring these demons to their church. But that happened. And as devastating as that was, that's not even as bad as what he was able to rope these people into and convince them to do. Look at how they're clapping for him and embracing him. It's as if Jake Lang has not said that black folks don't belong in America. It's as if Jake Lang has not called black folks every name under the sun. The N-word is quite possibly, right, the least offensive thing Jake Lang has called black folks. Jake Lang has damn near compared black folks to animals. That's how flagrant Jake Lang's racism has been.
Thank you, Patrick. God bless Detroit. We're going to take our country back. America was founded by Christian men with principle, okay? The people that had usurped Detroit, I mean, just 2 miles from here, they are siphoning your wealth. They are stealing the land from you, right out from underneath your feet. And I went through too many years in prison for President Trump and for this great nation to come out and to be shallow, to be a coward. I will stand for Christ. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Every single corner, every single street in this nation, we can preach the word of God. And if we can, then we must stand and fight. Amen. If there is an oppressive religion, if there is some type of mongrel third worlders here that are going to stone us for preaching the name of Jesus, we must stand.
Forget the nonsense that Jake Lang is spewing right now. I looked a little closer and I said, hold on. Is that who I think it is? Sewell, is that you? I looked closer at the pastor. I said, oh, nah, it can't be. It can't be. I didn't know this brother could go this low. If you guys don't remember this pastor, this is the pastor, right, that did the Trump rally on MLK Day.
Oh.
And he mimicked and mocked and imitated MLK at a Trump rally to endorse Trump. This is, and it all makes, after I connected these dots, it all made sense.
God, we're asking you not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and every molehill in Mississippi, from every state, every city, every village, and every hamlet.
So basically,
and when we let freedom ring, we will be able to.
Hey man, anyway. Basically this nigga is Officer Tatum, right? Just give me some money, white folks. That's basically what he's saying.
Speed up that day where all of your children, black men and white men, Protestant and Catholic, Jew and Gentile, will be able to sing in the meaning of that old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank you, God Almighty. We are free at last. If you believe where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Come on, put your hands together and give your great God great glory.
Some of y'all gotta chill, bro. Like y'all going too far. Y'all gotta relax, bro. It's one thing to go from the Trump rally. If you want to say, hey, he's a president, and you want to like glorify it or justify it. But what's the excuse for Jake Lang being invited to your church? What's the excuse for that, man? What is the excuse? Some of y'all just know no bounds. Y'all gotta relax, bro. Dude brings Jake Lang to his church for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So Jake Lang gets to speaking about Muslims and Islam, and he lets them know that he plans on going to Dearborn, Michigan, and marching through like Dearborn, which is like the most heavily populated Muslim city in the country. He plans on bringing a pig to this rally, right, to antagonize the people, and they're cheering him on. And this pastor is sitting there cheesing and damn near exalting Jake Lang. I said, bro, y'all gotta relax, man.
Yeah. Like our forefathers did. The people who claim this nation were not afraid.
Cook got that vampire
So why do
on
we
the
have the
cross,
spirit of fear, Detroit? Why are we in our homes cowering while these people are building a paradise off of your money? Wow. You see what they're building every single day. They're taking more from you and feeding their family with their 4 or 5 wives, right? Multiplying like cockroaches. They're outbreeding us, and they're stealing our wealth, and they're taking over the local government. They are changing the way we govern ourselves. In Hamtramck, they just made killing animals in sacrifice legal. Right out from underneath our feet, just a couple miles from here. Are you kidding me, Americans? The laws are changing. The demographics are changing. White people and black people, we're not having enough babies.
Jake Lang is not that smart at all. Jake Lang got room temperature IQ, but fortunately for Jake Lang, he's speaking of somebody in Lorenzo who got the freezer temperature IQ. Okay, Jake Lang has somehow convinced Lorenzo and other black folks in that church, including, I guess, the white folks who are being led by a black pastor. He has convinced them that somehow his fight is their fight, which I don't know how you get bamboozled by Jake Lang. See, Jake Lang is coming here saying, hey, I'm here to speak up for Christians. These people in Dearborn, Michigan is a city full of Muslims. There are enemies, and I'm riding for black and white people. As if Jake Lang is not on social media saying the exact same sentiment he's saying here, he was saying it about black folks on social media. Jake Lang made the exact same speech, said the exact same thing about black folks and how we don't belong. But because he's now in a church with a black pastor, he's now convincing this black pastor that his fight against Muslims and brown people is somehow, right, is somehow a fight for that includes black folks. And this pastor, with a freezer temperature IQ is sitting here and eating it up. I've never thought I'd see the day where someone in the likes of Chud the Builder or Jake Lang will be able to outsmart anybody. See, he's eating this up because this pastor is also a bigot.
Yeah,
See, he's
true.
a bigot, right? Because he has some type of animosity or hatred for Muslim people, right? He has a hatred for Islam. So his hatred for Islam has intoxicated him so much that he's now siding with the enemy, with a literal white supremacist who don't believe that black folks belong in this country. He's siding with him because he believes they have a common enemy. As if Jake Lang's goals is gonna stop at getting rid of Muslims. Like, are you crazy? His goal doesn't stop there. His goal says this country is a white nation that has no room for black folks. That's his literal statement in real life. But look at them eating this up. This is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life.
Well, fight back in the bedroom. Come on, Americans. I want to fight for Jake, y'all. I love that. I love him, man. Come on, let's lay hands on Jake. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's my elders. Come on, elders. Our pastor Mark is here. Come on, someone our brother loyal.
What them two talking about right there?
Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Meet me at Dearborn. Meet us at Dearborn. Come, let's lay hands on him. In the name of Jesus.
Praying for Jake Lang is blasphemy, man. But it's even more blasphemous because the pastor then tells his congregation, he tells people whose safety and well-being he's supposed to be in charge of, he tells them, yo, we're meeting Jake Lang in Dearborn, Michigan, and we're gonna march with him. Putting the lives of everybody in that congregation at risk for Jake Lang. That's bro, this is levels of tap dancing that I don't even think that people like Officer Tatum can reach.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
I think, we got the new king tap dancer, man. I feel like this man tap dancing is better than Jesse Lee Peterson, Officer Tatum, and anybody else's. I don't think I've ever seen a tap dancer in a sellout this flagrant. This
Tatum beat too. I agree with that.
This is trifling. It's trifling, man. Now, they went to Dearborn, Michigan, and it's like, bro, it's the same old, bro. He came there to antagonize these people. He came with the antics. A large crowd came out. The police protected him. Now, here's the thing, and here's where I really look at, these quote-unquote church-going folks and these pastors. What's wrong with y'all? See, before he came, the chief of police sent out a message and said, hey, please, bro, let's not give Jake Lang what he wants, bro. Everybody stay home. Do not feed into this. Because we all know what the purpose is. Bro, Jake Lang is not from Dearborn. He don't give a damn about Dearborn, bro. He gives a damn about the attention it's getting him, right? But the saddest part about this, too, man, was when you looked at the footage from the Dearborn March and Rally, you had Christians outside cheering Jake Lang on because he was trying to persecute Muslims as if he's not going to turn it on them.
All right.
Jake Lang is not marching for Christianity. Jake Lang is marching for bigotry. But look at how many Christians he was able to rope into this. And this is just so disappointing, bro, that Jake Lang is now being accepted, right, by normal people.
Jesus loves you guys. Amen. The Lord Jesus only saved.
I don't know, you seen them two kids back there playing.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, them three right there. All them dressed alike.
These people are anti-American, and there's no excuse for this, man. Bro, anybody who don't believe in religious freedom, who don't believe that somebody have a right to practice whatever religion they want to practice, you are anti-American. You're not a patriot. You are a bigot. Now, these people have no excuse, right? Like the excuse of, well, like they don't know who Jake Lang is. They just thought this was like a Christian rally. No, they had every ample warning what they were out there supporting. These people should be treated how we treat Jake Lang. As simple as that, right? And the ample warning came from their congressman, from their chief of police, who warned them who Jake Lang was and what he was doing.
I'm Chief Issa Shaheen, and we're aware that individuals and groups from outside our community may come to the Dearborn City Council meeting on Tuesday, August 18th. We've been monitoring the situation closely and coordinating with our state and federal partners. We have a plan in place, and you'll see an enhanced presence of police officers. But here's my direct ask of our residents. Please stay home. These groups that are coming here are coming for one reason, and that's to provoke a reaction and generate attention. If nobody shows up to react, they have nothing. The most powerful thing that this community can do is refuse to give them an audience. If you have business before council, you're welcome, and you'll be safe. We'll make sure of it. But if you're thinking about coming down just to confront these people, don't. That's exactly what they want, and it puts you at risk. Let our officers do their job. Don't let a handful of hateful outsiders define who we are. Dearborn is stronger than this.
I'll be real with y'all, bro. It sounds like Dearborn got a lot of hateful people too, bro. Because I've seen a lot of people trade on, like, this was Jake Lang's biggest crowd. I've never seen these many people, like, accept Jake Lang before. Like, this is absurd, right? Now, here's where, again, I don't give anybody out there any pass, right? Congresswomen and men, all right? They went ahead and they put out a warning telling people, listen, okay? Islamophobic racists are yet again marching in Dearborn to terrorize a whole faith community. Dearborn is a beautifully diverse place, home to a vibrant, loving Muslim community, and our families do not deserve to be subjected to such hatred and bigotry. Families are told to stay home for their own safety, unable to go back to school, shopping, get groceries, or even walk outside. So they warned them exactly like who these people were, and they were still outside protesting it. Because again, these are people who don't like Islam, they don't like Muslims, they believe that their religion is superior, and they believe that they have a right to try to chastise and force these people out of their communities. And it's not okay, like, at all, man. Right? Mad people got arrested at that rally as well. Like, mad people got arrested, right? For having guns with them, pointing guns at people. It was just an absolute issue. Now, the worst part about this too is Jake Lang got a chance to speak, by the way, at the city council meeting. Now, Jake Lang don't live in Dearborn. He's not from Dearborn. He literally have no interest in Dearborn whatsoever, but yet they allow him to speak at the city council meeting.
For 3 years straight, the #1 name in the country of England for newborn babies
I was looking for my
is
phone.
Muhammad. Tell me that white Christians are not being invaded. How can you lie to our faces with your taqiyya? This is an invasion on all fronts. Our people are being pushed out of the workplace. We're being pushed out of city councils. That smug face of the taqiyya Muslims needs to be wiped off these people's faces. These people are looking to destroy us. These people are looking to outbreed us. The Muslims have not come here to assimilate. That's right. They have come here to steal the wealth of this land, to rape our women. What about the 250,000 women in England that were raped by Pakistani Muslims, and they got little slaps on the wrist from the woke Democratic regime? The Muslims are being used by the Democrats to instill socialism in America. That's right. We know it. Look at all of your top Muslim leaders. They all pander to homosexuality, the trans agenda, and to socialism. You're fake Muslims. You're just using the Democrats, these woke liberal idiots, the women in New York, to gain power. And once the Muslims have power in this country, then they will start throwing the homosexuals off the roofs, just like they do in Palestine. You guys all cry about Palestine. Try being a white Christian man preaching the word of God in Palestine. Guess what might happen to you? The same thing that happened to me here in Dearborn, Michigan. You will be stoned for saying the name of Jesus Christ in Palestine, in Afghanistan, in Yemen, in Iraq. Jesus Christ is outlawed in those countries, and we will stand. The crusade has begun. Your time in this country is running short. The time of stealing from the Detroit black Christian Americans is over. It's over. Muslims go home.
This white woman right here is claiming that she was one of the last people who saw Nolan. And when she saw Nolan, he was involved in an altercation with somebody who, in her words, is going to go to jail based on what she witnessed. Now, somehow, some way, and a lot of you guys probably already suspect this, somehow, some way, Officer Tatum is involved somewhere in this equation, in which you will find out at some point in this video.
Oh, wow.
But here is what she has to say. Now, her page is on private, so we only have people reading what she said on her page. So this is what she had to say in terms of, the last sighting of Nolan. Now, apparently, she didn't just see Nolan by herself. It was her and her husband who witnessed this.
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
I don't know if they ever turned over the videos that they have to the police. I don't know if they ever gave a statement to the police.
I hope so.
But that post is being read directly from their TikTok by Secret Service in. And the reason why we don't know if they've ever turned over information, if they ever spoke to the police, if the police have ever followed up on this, because the DA and the prosecutors don't speak to you unless you are an attorney for one of the boys. Okay? Right. Even the family can't get information from out these people, but somehow Bart attorney had all the information in regards to Nolan Wells' autopsy before the parents had it and Chris Cuomo had it. Like ain't that odd?
My hair part.
These information is supposed to be secret and sealed, but somehow these folks have all the information before anybody else do, but they quote unquote ain't speaking, right? Cool. So we don't know. But what I can say is be very careful. Okay, about somebody's initial reaction to this. If somebody's initial reaction to this is what you're about to hear, they're very sus, right? They are very, very sketchy. Okay, now after you hear this, there's another factor that gets really deeper. Officer Tatum and his reaction to this tells me everything I need to know about this. Tatum's reaction to this should tell us everything we need to know about this, but we'll get there towards the end of this video.
Formerly in the public defender's office, they try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Agreed. And it should go to the grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to what if
him up.
Drinking and smoking. You know how many people were partying
Okay, man. Have you lost your mind?
When I tell y'all we're in this fight by ourselves, we're in this fight by ourselves, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
None of these people want to see justice. None of them. Yo, when it comes to this situation, in this case specifically this case, these people act like they don't have common sense. These people all of a sudden lose all rationality. They lose all common sense. This man, right, who is an actual attorney, is hearing a woman say, yo, I seen Nolan Wells have an altercation with somebody shortly before his disappearance. And he says, well, was she drunk? Was she drinking? Excuse me? How? What? Now, yo, shout out to Nancy Grace, because Nancy Grace she shut this conversation down shortly after this. Like, she shut this conversation down. She said, I'm good, bro. Like, you straight. Like, you could go. And she redirected her focus to Tatum. Now, what Tatum had to say about this was the most interesting. What Tatum had to say about this left me floored, left my mouth, my jaw, everything on the floor. I couldn't believe what I was hearing Tatum say.
Brandon Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that? Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they had nothing to do with it. Let's just put that out there. He's interviewed them extensively. I want to talk about not what you want to talk about, Brandon Tatum, which is they had nothing to do with this, because I met them and I believe them. So noted. Can we talk about a potential witness to an altercation? And she seems to suggest it was over Katie. Why? Don't know what the altercation was. Maybe it was, hey, leave her alone and get on the boat. Or leave her alone, she's my girlfriend. Or it could be anything.
Hey, man.
But if there is a witness placing Nolan seemingly in the water, I can't tell that, but having an argument with another person, a partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here, because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. No.
Tatum, what?
Lying ass nigga. Lying ass nigga.
Tatum, hell ain't hot enough for you, bro. Hell ain't hot enough for you, bro. You've never heard about this altercation before, Tatum? Wait, hold on, Tatum. No, I didn't hear that right. Play that. Nah. He didn't say that.
Your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here, because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real.
These people lie so much they can't even keep up with their own lies anymore. They tell so many lies they can't keep up anymore. But I fear this lie that Tatum is currently telling is the most nefarious lie of them all. I fear there's some truth to what we just heard. And Tatum is trying to cover up for it. And here's why. You see, Tatum told Nancy Grace after he heard the story that he never heard about this altercation. Nobody he had any contact with has ever mentioned this altercation before. But this was Tatum approximately 3 weeks ago on his channel talking about this very same altercation.
Yeah.
Isn't this you, Tatum?
Trying to debunk it.
I received a DM from someone DMing another person. Now, I'm trying to leave these names out because I want to not mess this investigation up. I think law enforcement already have this. That alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person that I saw the DM from. And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Now, the person did not say they saw a physical altercation. The person did not say what time they saw Nolan and this other person getting into an argument. Now, this is after Warren, their boat left. This may be somewhere around a little bit before 6. What I'm thinking at this point, with all that has been said, is that somebody knows exactly what happened to Nolan, or they saw him right before he died. I am not convinced
that's still within the time frame of all this shit happening though, right? Like, I think they said they was there from like, they left about like 4:50 or some shit like that, but they separated about 3 something. So I think it was like an hour of them still being there talking about they was leaving, the boat was sinking and all that crazy crap, but y'all still hung around a whole hour and a goddamn half while the boat was sinking. Yeah, that's the same timeline. So so I don't think that one would really matter. I don't know.
Nolan was just out there and drowned.
Tatum was so convinced by that DM that Nolan had an altercation back and forth with somebody that he even went out on a limb to say he believed that somebody knows what happened to Nolan, somebody watched Nolan die, and he don't believe that Nolan drowned. Now, all of a sudden, after Tatum became buddies with the boys' lawyers, after the boy lawyers started to promote Tatum's bourbon and his liquor in all of their interviews, after they essentially got a partnership with Tatum, now all of a sudden, Tatum don't remember ever hearing about this altercation, but that ain't the only lie Tatum got caught in. No. In the last 24 hours, it got exposed. Damn near all of Officer Tatum, quote unquote, sources were all lies. He either made it up himself or he's lying about everything he once knew because he realized those things now implicate his friends and his homies. Allegedly, I don't know. Okay. So that man just explained the exact altercation that person is describing. Nancy Grace asked him about the same altercation he already talked about 3 weeks ago. Now, all of a sudden, he has no idea what's going on. He never heard of it. This man needs to be investigated, bro. Tatum needs to be investigated. They need to bring Tatum to the altar, bro. Because you can't keep getting away with this.
And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And how did he not recover and come home to his family? So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
Number one, he's dead shortly after an alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put together both circumstantial and direct evidence. Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies. And they were not connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any of the vital areas that could kill him. So it doesn't appear that there's any indication that he lost a fight, that there was enough trauma in this particular.
You see how Tatum has went from, do you see how Tatum has went from, hey, I was told this, and I'll be real, man. Hey, bro, like, they're credible. And you know, listen, man, I now believe, I don't think he just drowned. I think somebody watched him die. Then shouldn't you still have that exact same thing? It's only been 3 weeks. Shouldn't you still think the exact same thing? Shouldn't you still believe what you said 3 weeks ago, which is, again, Tatum's exact word was, even if they didn't get into a physical altercation, I still believe somebody seen what happened, somebody watched Nolan die, somebody knows what happens. Then wouldn't this person be crucial and pivotal in figuring that out? Why is Tatum all of a sudden going against and attacking the very same information and evidence that he broke? Tatum was the first one to release this information 3 weeks ago. But now he's going against it. Now he's fighting against it. Now he's doing everything in his power to try to, like, underplay it. Why? That's interesting. The only thing I could point to is, man, them boys got Verdict Bourbon in their background. When they do interviews now, they promoting your bourbon for you. So now all of a sudden, you don't want to concede an inch that could, make people look bad. That's odd, Tatum. That's very odd. Very odd here. See, this is not the only lie Tatum got caught up in. Y'all remember when
Trey, come on here. Trey, come on here and do these dishes. Do these dishes now. I'm cooking. I can't do everything. 1 second.
Oh, shit.
Mom. What happened? Damn! What happened? I burnt my hand trying to get the pan out the oven. Your hand? Are you okay? You didn't use the glove when you was grabbing it out the oven? That's because you ain't do these damn dishes! That's why! How was me not doing the dishes make you burn your hand? No, that's why! That's why I didn't use the glove, because I was thinking about you doing the dishes. If I wasn't thinking about you doing the dishes, then I would have known to grab the glove. I mean, Mom, but that happened like 10 seconds after you told me. Never do what I ask! What do you mean? I used to never get in trouble. You used to be the one being in trouble, bro. Mom, what's a better behaved kid to him? Okay, I can't lie. Trey, you did behave better than your cousin as a kid. Brenda, come on. No. All right, bro, listen. You only behave better because you grew up with AC in the house. It was too hot in my crib to be good. So,
God damn.
I'm serious. That heat was making me mad. Mom, did you fart? She did, bro.
Shit on us.
Oh.
Oh.
You see, this means somebody talking shit about me. What? No, this what this means. This means somebody somewhere is talking shit about me. Because this morning when I woke up, I asked God for a sign. If somebody's gonna talk shit about me today. Here it is. Mom, that's what this means. Keisha, she's the one talking shit. Let me call her. I knew I was gonna get a sign today. Here it is. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Crazy work. Oh,
I didn't know he was hurt at the time. Yesterday, I was like, I would really like to see Johnny Newton move down on the depth chart, and a guy like Ricky Barber.
Let's see who can.
Quick question. Have you ever seen a spider drink water before? If not, let me introduce you to my adult female Latrodectus mactans, the southern black widow. After misting down her enclosure, she can visibly be seen slurping up the droplets of water on the walls of the enclosure.
What?
After finishing a droplet, she moves on to the next.
What?
Many people are accustomed to seeing larger animals drink water, but smaller animals like spiders drinking is typically unseen, unless you're caring for one, of course. The tiny drops of water that coat to her body gives her such a beautiful reflective look. Besides drinking the water that run down the walls of her enclosure, she'll also drink from the droplets that stick to her webbing as well. Just like all other animals, irrespective of their size, spiders equally require water to thrive. Quick question, have you ever seen a spider drink water before? If not,
This is the Ray-Ban restaurant. Most people are sleeping at 1:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. I, however, was standing in a packed bar bathroom replacing a commercial flush valve. The bar owner told me it would be a quick job, but those are some dangerous words. Besides, what does a bar owner know anything about plumbing anyways? I should have known that. The moment I opened up the bathroom door, I knew this wasn't going to be a quick job. Or pleasant. Or even sanitary. Ugh. The floor had looked like somebody pressure washed it with beer and urine. The air smelled like stale alcohol, regret, and whatever happens when chicken wings meet bad decisions. I shut off the angle stop and removed the old flush valve. Immediately, a guy walked up to the urinal beside me. There were 6 available. He chose the one 3 inches from my shoulder. This guy has an incredible ability to pick the exact urinal that was directly next to me. And would you believe it? He starts having a conversation with me. He goes, "You guys hiring?" I said, "Sir, you are actively peeing beside my head right now. And you're asking me for a job? This is definitely not a good time for job searching." He just laughs, zips up, and starts heading towards the door, but not before he rips a loud one on the way out. "Thanks, bud. Appreciate that one." The next guy that walks in comes over right behind me and starts asking me questions about what I'm doing. I said, "I'm fixing the flush valve." He says, "Why?" Because it's broke." He says, "I wonder if it's because I kicked it last week." I stopped, turned around, looked him dead in the eyes, and said, "Yep. Probably is." He just starts laughing uncontrollably. I'm not joking. He probably sat there for like 2 minutes just laughing. While this guy was still laughing, another guy came running into the bathroom holding his mouth. He runs straight to the sink and starts puking. The laughing guy gets grossed out and runs out of the bathroom, thankfully. But now it smells horrendous in here. And this is about the time when I said, "All right, we're going to get a sign and close this thing down." I found a bottle of Febreze and pretty much emptied it out in that room. Wrote an out of order sign on an old paper plate and stuck it on the outside door of the bathroom. Yeah, that lasted all about 5 minutes. I don't know if these customers just couldn't read or they just didn't care. At this point, I didn't even care who was in there. I just wanted to hurry up and get the heck out of there. You might be thinking, "Oh, this is probably normal for guys to do something like this." But how about the women? A few years back, I was swapping out 20 toilets on an old women's gang bathroom. I removed 18 toilets off the wall and had every single one outside of the stall. And before you say it, yes, I did have a big sign on this door. But signs don't seem to matter to anybody these days. I started working on removing toilet number 19 when all of a sudden I hear somebody close the stall door to toilet 20. I said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but this bathroom's closed." And she says, "Oh, don't mind me. I grew up with brothers. I don't care about peeing in front of guys." I said, "That's actually not why I'm telling you not to be in here right now." Then she flushes the toilet and of course it comes out all the stalls that were right next to hers. You know, the stalls that didn't have any toilets on the wall? Yep, they're all connected to the same pipe behind the wall. She just said, "Oops, sorry," and ran out. So if you ever see an out of order sign on a bathroom door, let this be a lesson to you. Give the maintenance guy or a plumber a little bit of space. Because I know you wouldn't want someone peeing next to your desk. Most people are sleeping at 1:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. I, however, was standing in...
I found this boulder peeking out of the ground, so I did what any sane man in my shoes would do.
Dig it up.
I started digging.
Yeah. Need some more. Oh, wow.
Turned out to be a bit bigger than we thought. Tried to pull it out with a truck.
Come on, 250.
I even dug out a bunch of it by hand.
Oh, nah, you ain't getting that with no 250.
So I made a plan and decided to bring in the heavy machinery.
Idea
Damn, he got money.
The rock up. Hopefully slide another strap underneath it and make easy lifting. There you go. They got 2 straps underneath, ready to lift it all the way out. You can see the straps slip from time to time, but again, you're lifting a 10,300 pound boulder, so the slack is just kind of sliding out of these straps. Again, here's that really cool aerial view showing you the size of the boulder and the hole that it's leaving.
Let's go. I ain't gonna lie, you probably just removed so much stability in your ground.
Come on! The boulder's fully out of the ground now. You can hear the excitement in my voice. Now they're going to move it to the other side of the yard, and now comes the really nerve-wracking part where this 10,300 pound boulder It's going over our patio. If this thing were to slip and fall at this point, 10,300 pounds is going to cause a lot of damage to the front of our house. But lucky for us, these guys are pros. They get it over the patio.
I mean, it is 10,300
on its way to its
pounds.
final resting place. Now that it's elevated, the guy's kind of able to just spin it around. Slowly getting it to where that flat slanted piece is facing the road.
Oh, yeah.
Right on that when it goes down.
God, you guys nailed that.
That's a good spot 'cause if you ever want to like put your address.
Well, that's exactly what the plan is.
Oh, that's hard.
I found this boulder peeking out of the ground, so I did.
You know, what's the point of eating fast food when you can eat last food? Nothing like a ton of butter. But what's even better is a Metro fuck ton of onions. So far, the entire dish consists of just onion. And since you've already used up the entire pan to make this, what other ingredients are we possibly missing? With the sheer lack of ingredients, I don't think spices are going to help all that much. And of course, we forgot the entire bag of Cheeto dust. The one thing we're forgetting is the Indian version of Diddy oil. Make sure to drench your entire food in that. Usually, let's get past this part and go right to the section where you guys start spreading your ass cheeks up and down the food. So far, all you've done is managed to turn this into a mush. And for no reason at all, we used every egg in the village to throw on top. We've essentially just made a giant omelet that's going to taste like shit. Why does every single dish that comes out of this area look like poop? It always ends up brown no matter what you do. How is it the meat that you get from Taco Bell? And why does the background look like a warehouse in which War Dogs was filmed? This shit's ass. You know, what's the point of eating fast food when you can eat last food?
I ain't lying. You don't look that bad.
Do it now. Raider wants to say hi. Don't touch that! Look, it's the donut truck! We gotta go get it!
Let's go, kids! Let's go, kids!
Think
it's funny, huh? Yeah, go get it. Yeah, you ah! Fuck God, come on! Come on!
There it is.
Good to see you. Sir, how you doing? Sir? Mary, how you doing? Good to see you.
Get off of me.
Who the hell is in my house?
You retired, man. You don't work no more, bro. You ain't no police dog no more, bro. Dead alone, bro. Let the smell get past you.
Show everyone how you smile.
It's time to install a sound system in our Cavalier, but guess what? We're only going to use audio equipment from the 2000s. All right, let's get started. First step is removing the dash. Can you believe I got the entire dash out and nothing broke? Time to remove the old radio. This thing was made in 2000.
But yeah, anyway, I guess that's gonna be it. I guess that's gonna be it. Yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for today. Yeah, first live stream. Got one eye. Got one eye. If I can find the controls.